should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, it's good to see you. Thank you so very much for being here. Speculating family, you guys are awesome. I made something over the past couple of days, and so I will have a new members only video out for you soon. I know I've been promising that, but everything's been crazy. Jenny Jen, good to see you, love. Southern Cats, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Shauna Opal said I can't stick around, but wanted to drop some love. If nobody told you today you matter. Thank you so much, Opal. I hope you have a good day. Ruth Ann, good to see you. Rhonda, good to see you. Just so you know, you're in the vertical live. If you want to stay there, you're more than welcome. If you want to chat with everybody, if you go out of that live and come to my page and click on the one that does not have a phone beside it, you'll be here with everybody else. CM Wilkins, good to see you. Victoria and Rachel, good to see y'all. And thank you so much for being here. Hey, Shelby, good to see you, love. UTD, it's great to see you. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Texas girl. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Y'all are so amazing. Thank you so very much for being here. Hey, Kelly, good to see you, love. Anders said, I'm here today to crack a few jokes about sanitary pads. Oh, my Lord. You always make me laugh, Anders. You are so funny. All right. So I spent the morning going to get the trailer to pack stuff up in for us to move. This thing is happening. And because of that, I was watching a live and they had quite a few things that I wanted to cover with you guys. But I wanted to go through because they covered like three different streams. They covered like three different streams, right? And I wanted to go through and get those streams and the timestamps I wanted to cover. However, we went to go get the trailer. When I got back, my kids went to their other homeschool friend's house for a sleepover, and I just walked back in the door right before it was time to go live. You are in the vertical, Victoria. Good to see you. If you go out of there and click on my page and click on the one without the phone icon beside it, you'll be with everybody else. I decided to do it that way to try to get a couple more people in. I'm hoping maybe people might have information that I don't. Before we talk about that, I don't like vertigo either. I have a couple of updates to share with y'all. So I will talk more about what I saw this morning and that person and everything else in just a few minutes. First, we need to talk about this. There is an update in the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. And so we're going to talk about that. And then we will talk about Sebastian. And then we will go on to the main topic for the day. Scratch the Paint, good to see you. Oh, Solistic was gifted at Mark's. Hold on, let me not scream in y'all's ear. He ain't paying attention. I told him. Oh, okay. He said it's blowing up right now. Gardening Divas, good to see you. Daniel Martell has mad interview with a YouTube channel. Where, Anders? Because we'll talk about that too. All right, let's talk about David and the new information out on that case. So the article reads, I know a few of you had told me that the body found in David's car reportedly too frozen to determine the cause of death. And I was like, huh? Do what? Say that again? Come again? I still ain't fixed my videos. I gotta fix my videos, so we'll have to deal with Stefan again for today. But I'll fix that in the children's video tomorrow. But when I heard that, I was like,
now what the fuck is going on?
you know what I mean? So it reads, the body of Celeste Rivas, which was found in David's car in September, was reportedly so frozen that the medical examiner might not be able to establish a time of death. According to a report TMZ published on Saturday, November 22nd, the LA medical examiner received the pieces of Rivas' body when they were partially frozen and had been thawing for several weeks before they were discovered in the front trunk of David's Tesla. I'm going to give y'all a trigger warning. Hold on. He asked me something. He says thank you for the gifted membership on Drunken Turkey. Okay, I will look into that. Let me write that down. DM on DT. Frozen, yes, Frozen. And I'm like thinking, okay, her body was in the trunk for at least a couple of weeks, right? And it was relatively warm outside. So how the hell was it still frozen after it had been in the front trunk of the vehicle and had been thawing? Where in the Sam hell did we put this body that it took that? I mean, that's like some months that it took to thaw out, right? Because it had been in the car for, I don't know, close 3 weeks to a month, it seems. And then the damn medical examiner had to wait 2 more weeks. That's some months. I thought it was warm too. So freaking weird. That case is driving me crazy. All the initial reports said he wasn't cooperating and she was dismembered. Then it was, oh no, those reports are wrong. And now we were back to we're all right. I know. It's so frustrating because we were going with she had been decapitated, and then they were like, no, she wasn't decapitated. That was a lie. And now we're back to that. This case is insane. So I'm going to give y'all a trigger warning and continue reading the article. Trigger warning. Her head was decapitated and the limbs were removed from the torso. The body was in such bad shape, the police couldn't tell the gender when they found it. Quote, it will most likely be undetermined, unquote, a source told the outlet. When the body arrived, the medical examiner initially said Rivas was a victim of an, quote, apparent homicide, unquote, but now the office is having difficulty ruling an official cause of death. Nonetheless, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division is considering the case a homicide and can make arrests even if a cause of death is not determined. Police are... Hold on. We'll watch this video in just a minute. But it's not letting me pause it. There, now it will. Police are reportedly looking at David as an alleged accomplice. Okay. Police are allegedly looking at David and an alleged Lord have mercy, give me the power to shrink. Speak. I want to speak. Police are reportedly looking at David and an alleged accomplice as suspects. Authorities believe the second person may have helped David dismember the body and stored the parts in a large freezer. The LAPD has locked in on an alleged late-night car trip David took in spring of 2025 to a remote location in Santa Barbara County. Data from the Tesla reportedly shows that Rivas's body may have been in the vehicle at that time along with another passenger. If Rivas's body was inside the vehicle at the time of the trip, then authorities believe the parts were stored in a large freezer until they were loaded back into the vehicle before it was abandoned. TMZ reports that the home David rented has a freezer large enough to store Rivas's body parts, but it's not clear if police thoroughly investigated it during the search of the home last month. David's representative had said that the singer is cooperating with police, but that's reportedly no longer the case. A police source told People that David is not cooperating and hasn't been since the investigation began. Born David Anthony Burke, has yet to speak on the situation. So this is going to be from the news in the area, KTLA 5. It is on my computer. Hopefully we can get through it without an ad. If there is an ad, I apologize. Here's what they are saying.
We start with new developments in the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front trunk of singer David's impounded Tesla in September.
David was officially identified as a suspect in the teen's death this week. And now a source that's close to the case says detectives have identified a second suspect. Lindsay Pena, live in our news center with the latest on that. Lindsay?
Rick and Kareem, this is the second major development in this case this week. Back on Tuesday, a source was able to confirm to KTLA that singer David is being named as a suspect, as you mentioned. The body of the Lake Elsinore teen was found September 8th in the front trunk of David's Tesla, impounded at a Hollywood tow yard. David was on tour at the time, but police now believe Hernandez was killed last spring. The medical
I want to go in more detail on that. We all thought that, her body was found while David was on tour already. And so therefore, more than likely he didn't do it in the beginning. And then we found out that she had been there for some time, so we started to question it. I'm thinking that something happened and David did kill her, and they dismembered him and an accomplice, dismembered her body, took a trip to Santa Barbara. Maybe she was alive at the time, and then when they came back, she wasn't. I don't know. And then he froze her and wanted to make sure she was very frozen so that he could go on tour and she would be in the vehicle and the body would thaw out so it would look like something that happened while he was on tour, as we initially thought. But now they're figuring out that it didn't. I think that was his plan, to freeze her so that when she thawed out, it would look like it had just recently happened and he could be like, oh, there's no way I could be responsible. I was on tour. California was hot. How was she frozen? Great question, Shauna. Like, even putting in a deep freeze, not trying to be graphic, but even if they decapitated her body and put it in a deep freeze, like, how did she stay that frozen for so long, to where the medical examiner had reportedly waited 2 weeks and she still wasn't all the way thawed out? And at that, I'm not trying to be graphic again, but we got to think about and take into consideration the fact that she was decapitated. Like, if you think about thawing out meat to cook for dinner or something, if you've got a really big piece of meat, like your turkeys for Thanksgiving, you would want to take that out and let it thaw out for a week. Well, we're talking, there's no way that he cut her head off and her limbs off and she was frozen at that time. That would be really hard to do if she was frozen that solid, right? So he had to put her in the freezer when she was already decapitated. And if she's already decapitated, we're talking about a frozen arm, a frozen head, a frozen leg. Like, for legs that are detached from the body, arms detached from the body, head detached from the body, to be frozen to where they're not even thawed out up to like a month and 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks later. Like, how do you get something that frozen in an area where it's over 100 at a time? We're not talking about Siberia here, okay? Um, how? I don't understand. Was there dry ice in the front trunk of the Tesla? How is that even possible? Like, I don't even think that is possible. I've got to be misunderstanding something here. It does take a psychopath to cut up a body, and you look at his videos, Texas Girl, and I'm wondering if the videos and the thoughts that he had influenced him to do something like that. I don't know. I mean, you don't want to think about it, right? You want to think it's just music, it's just artistic expression, but here we are.
examiner reported she had been dead for an extended period of time. Just yesterday, the case was updated in the medical examiner's website. The cause of death had been listed as deferred for weeks, but now there is no information listed, which means there could be a security hold on the case. Late today,
I'm sure
TMZ
there is.
reporting that Rivas's body may have been frozen, and that could make
It won't let me pause when it's about to go to an article. I'm sure there is a security hold on the case because they pause. They don't want it out. Scratch the Paint said allegedly they said he might have had a freezer installed in the front. That would be important information to know. Kelly Disdelicious, good to see you. They said the body was in extreme decomp when found in the trunk, so she had to be completely thawed out, right? That's another good point. So then, if she's in extreme decomposition when she's found in the trunk, they would put the body on ice until they could do the medical examination. Like, that wouldn't be unheard of, but to the extent that the medical examiner is having trouble getting her body to thaw out. Yeah, she wasn't fully thawed out. Let me back this up just a smidgen. They're talking about it right now. Oh, it might help if I turn the daggone volume on. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
that Rivas's body may have been frozen, and that could make it difficult or nearly impossible to determine the cause of death. Our request to the medical examiner's office for more information hasn't been answered yet. Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case, but says he's talked to people close to the investigation, and they've told him this person could be involved before, during, and after her death.
I think what law enforcement is focusing on right now is they're trying to determine locations, and they have reverse engineered. They obviously know when they found the car. They obviously know when they discovered the remains. They now are reverse engineering the movements of all those who were involved.
And I mean, of course, you would have to. You would have to go back and you would have to say, okay, David was here at this point in time. This is what the Tesla information gave us. He went to Santa Barbara County. This person was in the vehicle with him. Yeah, you got to go back. You got to try to figure out all of the steps that led to where you came into the picture where you're finding the body in the trunk, just like we're trying to do in the Michael Monkey Vaughn case. We started with these people are being indicted for homicide. Now we're going back and trying to find the pieces to an extent. Summerwell's case, same thing, although I veered off of that track and went into Ziggy and Fred Hill specifically. I do want to take it back probably after today and say, all right, this is what happened on this date. This is what happened on this date, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, that's what you've got to do. You got to go and say, okay, we're here at the end, but what happened in the beginning? We got to figure that out. Mariel, good to see you. Eric Jasper, good to see you. Since the last release saying the car had been in a desert area or something to that effect, I feel like her life was taken there, so the crime scene couldn't be traced. Very possible. Very possible. Santa Barbara County, maybe?
And they've done it in a very sophisticated way.
Garagos and Harvey Levin of TMZ both confirming independently that investigators are looking closely at a trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring. At this point, one former LAPD detective we've spoken with says David is likely under surveillance, and all of these developments could mean an arrest is coming soon. Attorney Allison Treasel saying investigators are likely taking their time and being extra careful since this case is so high profile.
I think that
this is a high profile case with a lot of eyes on the LAPD, and they don't want to get it wrong. They should not have to be in any type of a rush because there's no statute of limitations on a murder case if this is in fact a murder. And the coroner has yet to release the manner of death or the toxicology reports.
As of now, there have still been no charges and no arrests in this case. In the News Center, Lindsay Pena, KTLA 5 News. Back to you guys.
But I think David has been named a suspect, even though he hasn't been charged. That would line up with what the medical examiner gave a rough estimate of when her life was taken. Right, exactly. His music was unsettling. It was. Going to Santa Barbara County in mid-spring would make sense to me, but that means it was planned premeditation. You're getting into a whole nother department there. Not department, but, list of charges. If you Google it, LA Police Department have said that David was not the best suspect. So let's see. Lord have mercy. So Uncle Google is saying, hopefully y'all can hear me. Uncle Google is saying David is not currently considered a suspect in the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was found in a Tesla registered to him. Now they said he was. So I'm wondering if this is old, not new. The second suspect ID'd. So let's see who the second suspect is. Second suspect ID'd in the case of... Stop it. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, teen found deceased in David's car, says reports. Los Angeles police have reportedly identified a second suspect. So if there's a second suspect, I would say David is still a suspect. They identified a second suspect in connection with the apparent, Lord of mercy, homicide of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the runaway teen whose dismembered remains were found stuffed in the trunk of singer David's impounded Tesla in September. Queens-born David, real name David Anthony Burke, is also considered a suspect. The latest update was revealed on Saturday's episode of Two Angry Men podcast, hosted by TMZ founder, lawyer Harvey Levin and criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos. The two said the second suspect is not believed to have killed the 15-year-old, but likely assisted in the dismemberment of her remains. The attorney said they were informed by sources of a trip David took to a very remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night, per Levin, who believes that Santa Barbara trip is key to the case. Garagos said he received the name of someone police are looking at in relation to what happened before, during, and after the teen's death, though he didn't want to make that name public at present. A combination of cell phone and Tesla data, along with location data from social media, appears to have led law enforcement to identifying the new suspect. The way Garagos interpreted his intel was a confirmation that a person is connected to one of the last times the car was moved. So they're saying that this person who took a trip with him to Santa Barbara in the spring is also the person who was moving the vehicle one of the last times that it was moved. It continues, Rivas was just 13 when she was last seen by her family in the spring of 2024. Multiple attempts at running away from her home in Lake Elsinore, about 75 miles southeast of where her remains were found in LA on September 8th. The status of 20-year-old David's relationship with the teen remains unconfirmed, though people who knew the pair said they believed they were a couple. Rivas's mother also told TMZ her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Contrary to longstanding reports, David has not been cooperating with authorities, nor has he ever in the investigation, a police source told People. The insider confirmed that police are still unsure of Rivas's exact time of death and the circumstances surrounding it, though they've determined she likely died in the spring of 2025, not before then. The LA County Medical Examiner has yet to determine an official cause of death. Once that happens, arrest and charges could soon follow. Let's go to X real quick and see if we've got anything on this other person. I'm going to close out of that real quick and we'll pull this up. Hold on. Yep, that's where I'm going, Steve Fisher. Orange Rose, good to see you, love. So from 15 hours ago, 16 hours. Okay, hold on. Matt gets his information incorrect. Okay, I think, yeah, this is the most recent one right here. And then we have one after this. He says, thank you. I am not going to use anyone's name, but it will probably be obvious what I'm referring to. If that violates anything and someone feels I need to be arrested, then honestly, being locked up without a phone and a computer sounds like a dream vacation right now, so that's fine with me. Freezing a body completely halts the decomposition process. It freezes the liquid inside of the tissues and prevents bacteria from spreading, which is required for decomposition. There are people on Mount Everest who have been above ground for decades and are still preserved. Morgues use refrigeration to slow decomposition for this exact reason. Okay, so a morgue would use refrigeration, not a freezer. I mean, it's going to be hard to pin his DNA on her for a crime because they allegedly live together. So I hope someone comes forward and has some proof of who did what to her. I do too. I do too. His lawyer would tell him to exercise his Fifth Amendment right. Yeah, and he's got a good lawyer, I'm sure. Steve Fisher also said he clearly saw who was driving the Tesla to the spot it was parked. It sounds like the cops have a lot. Yep. Yep. Okay, it continues. Saying a pathologist cannot make a determination because the body was frozen is completely out of touch with basic science. A medical examiner would prefer for the body to be immediately frozen because it becomes a time capsule. Medical students trained for surgery on cadavers' bodies are routinely frozen and thawed for educational and surgical training. I screenshot and attached messages from two medical professionals discussing the process of moving a body from a -4-degree freezer into a 39-degree refrigerator, and the body was fully thawed in 4 days. Another professional notes that a fully deep frozen body will thaw in 48 to 72 hours when done in a controlled setting, not a hot frunk. So how could a body still be partially frozen after sitting in a frunk for months? Exactly. That's what I'm wanting to know. He continues, if you want to change the timeline now, fine. Let us say the body was placed there on the day the parking enforcement officer first ticketed the vehicle. We know from tire chalking that the car never moved. That is 13 to 14 days before the body was found in the Tesla frunk. And people actually believe TMZ when they say the body was still partially frozen when it arrived to the medical examiner's office. What the actual fuck? Right now, the choice is between science and TMZ, and it's shocking how many people are choosing TMZ. This is the same outlet that published breaking news today saying the house on Doheny has a refrigerator and freezer in the kitchen, an appliance every house has. This says, for an example, if you wish to dissect superficial structures such as a cutaneous nerves or some moss for facelifting, 24 hours will be okay. But if you wish to thaw all the tissue deep inside the specimen, would be 48 to 72 hours. For anyone who finds this later, we transferred one of our specimens from a -20 degrees Celsius freezer into a 4 degrees Celsius large refrigerated room, i.e., the sub-zero temp of the specimen was not decreasing the ambient temp, and implanted a temperature probe 2 inches deep. Upon implant, the probe read -17 degrees Celsius. After 4 days, the probe read 0 degrees Celsius, and the tissue was very noticeably thawed. It is likely the deeper tissue was still frozen, but it's doubtful that it will take more than a day or two for the specimen to be completely thawed. So I'm gonna read his next post, but can we make how then is Celeste Rivas's body still partially frozen? I'm not understanding. If it only take per medical examiner, if it only takes 48 to 72 hours at the absolute most to thaw a body out, why are they saying that she's still frozen? See, yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, I'm wondering if if the medical examiner froze her to preserve her. I don't think she was still frozen. It doesn't make sense. But if they put her in the trunk and then parked the car, that explains why law enforcement who ticketed the car and the tow driver didn't smell anything. That's a great point, because they did report not smelling anything. But then some people outside of the area reported smelling something that smelled like sewage. And you just made me think about that. There were people that lived in the area on the road in Hollywood Hills that reported smelling something that smelled like sewage. So, yeah, if she was still partially frozen, that would explain why the impound lot didn't smell anything for a couple of days. But even at that, they smelled it after a couple of days. So she would have had to, there is no way that she would be partially unfrozen at that point enough for you to smell her, yet still partially frozen this long later. You know what I mean? Yeah, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Yep, exactly, CM. The neighbors reported the smell. Did they not also not say her remains were in very bad condition? If so, when did they thaw her out in the freezer? Great questions. They would have had storage somewhere very close to keep frozen, but I still say in the hot front for a long time. They reported smell at the impound. When did decomp start? Right, exactly. How is she still partially frozen? It's not making sense. Okay, so his next post an hour later says it's also important to remember the medical examiner put this on their website after finding the body and before identifying her. They used, quote, her, unquote, and, quote, she, unquote, in the statement and said she was severely decomposed, and also said, quote, she appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. So I'm sticking with the medical examiner office over TMZ. Here's the complete statement. This is from the medical examiner's office. Quote, the decedent was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle on September 8th of 2025. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. We are unable to determine her age or race and ethnicity. The decedent was wearing a tube top and black leggings size small. She has black wavy hair. Jewelry includes yellow metal stud earring with a yellow metal chain bracelet. So he's saying that because this was put out by TMZ and they're saying they couldn't even figure out if it was male or female and they were still partially frozen, that's more than likely TMZ lying. And he's pointing out the fact that even the medical examiners are saying that it would only take 48 to 72 hours to thaw out a body that's negative 20 degrees Celsius. And they were referring to Celeste as a her before they had even identified her. So that goes against both things. They said that they didn't know if it was male or female when they clearly have stated it was a her before they knew it was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And also, medical examiners saying a body frozen at negative 20 degrees Celsius would be thawed out in 48 to 72 hours. Marvelous Jesus, you take care as well. Good to see you. You are in the vertical live if you want to chat with everybody. If you come to my page and click on the other live without a phone beside it, you'll be with everyone. Yeah, we got some amazing minds in them crime labs, so I pray they can tell us she was frozen after or before decomp started. Me too. Anders said bullshit news. Hey, Miss King. I heard she was frozen, but not when she was found. It makes cause of death harder. So that might be what we're misunderstanding. She was frozen, but not necessarily when she was found. And that made causing like you said, determining the cause of death and time of death specifically, like hour, day, harder. That makes sense. So TMZ might have misconstrued it, and it could all be bullshit. All right, we've got a couple of things to discuss. I got to download these pictures real quick and this information that I have. Hold on just a minute. I want to, yep, that button. Okay. Let me see what y'all said. Hey, Snarky Pants, good to see you. Okay, we read that. All right. So, I suppose we'll find out, but I'm with SF on this. I think that TMZ fucked up. It wouldn't be the first time, nor will it be the last. Hold on a minute. I was trying to use my lighter. I try to mute when I do that, and my lighter don't want to light. Hold on. I reckon y'all had to hear it. I heard the body was swollen from the heat. Right, that makes more sense. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers. I was on these YouTube streets this morning, and I saw a post from Chasing. Now we're going to talk about quite a few things. And I'm going to expand on that more when we talk about summer. So I'll just wait till we talk about summer. Hold on. I'm going to drop her link. I screenshotted what she shared and I looked into it more. So I wanted to share this with you. But I wanted to get her link so you guys could go check her out and subscribe if you would like to do so. Us smokers know when you're smoking without hearing the lighter. Do you? I'm not going to be able to smoke when we move while I'm live, so hopefully that'll help me stop. After that whole laughing incident after CK was red rummed, I lost a lot of respect and trust for them. For who? Oh, you're talking about TMZ? Yeah. Yeah, after they laughed about Charlie Kirk, yeah, that's horrible. That was some bullshit, and then blamed it on some other shit. Yes, I did, and we're gonna talk about that. But I had it on my thumbnail, so I wanted to share it with y'all. All right, let me pull up what I saw this morning on Chasings. And when she got the information, it was legit at the time. I had screenshotted them and cut them out, but this first one is the screenshot. So this is from Nick Barris, and it says investigators working on a possible new lead in case of Sebastian Rogers. The 15-year-old disappeared from his Sumner County home in Tennessee and back in February 26th of 2024. Lord have mercy. The Amber Alert remains in effect more than a year and a half later. Since then, authorities have vetted hundreds of tips and leads, and they continue to do so today. Over the weekend, I was contacted by several people about a possible sighting of someone who looked like Sebastian at a Hendersonville restaurant. Photographs were taken and sent to the Sumner County Sheriff, who tells me this morning his investigators are following up on the lead. The photos are blurred because this teen is a minor and may not be Sebastian. It is important to note there have been other sightings of teens who resembled Sebastian. Authorities tracked them down, and in each case, it was not him. But if they follow up on all such tips, and they will on this one, This is an important reminder that even after all this time, Sebastian's case remains active, and you are encouraged to call in any leads to 1-800-TBI-FIND. I will let you know of any developments. There are developments. Anna, good to see you, love, and thank you for becoming a member of Speculation Station. I greatly appreciate you and the support. I will grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you, Anne. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so very much, sweetheart. I didn't see the unredacted photo, but maybe it could have been. I love it. I come from a big family of smokers, and that sounds like home. Aw. Okay, that's not it. This is the photo that we got, and it's redacted of a teen, very skinny, that appears to be in some kind of restaurant. I thought maybe it could be. I don't know. Well, it didn't download his poster. Hold on. My computer's freaking weird sometimes. Let me pull it up this way. So you just saw the picture that's redacted that they thought could be him, right? And then this is the photo of him. Says Sebastian Wayne Direct Rogers, age 15, sex male, race white, hair brown, eyes brown, 5'5", 120 pounds, missing from Sumner County, Tennessee from February 26th of 2024. Well, I looked it up, and there is an update. But it's not what we wanted. Okay, so this was from 7 hours ago. Update, not Sebastian. I have spoken to the mother of the teen in the photograph. He is not Sebastian Rogers, and this family has nothing to do with the case. The sheriff is following up. My post had shared images of photos taken with the teen's face blurred. Unfortunately, the sheriff tells me others have shared the unblurred photos on social media. Sorry, I hit the mic. I'm sorry if that was loud. Unfortunately, the sheriff tells me others have. Okay. It is just important to be clear this teen is not Sebastian. Authorities ask that when people see someone who may resemble Sebastian to immediately call them and they will quickly investigate. The case remains active. Call tips to 1-800-TBI-FIND. And that was the one we just read, the post we just read. That's what that says, where it was the first post on the lead. So basically they followed up and they found out that it was indeed not Sebastian. Are you going to talk about the first body cam you put out yesterday? I listened to it like 1,000 times and still don't understand. Like, why are they talking about a pregnancy test? I don't know why they're talking about a pregnancy test. I don't know that she was pregnant. I didn't listen to all of it. I kind of skipped through it because I was trying to get something out for you guys. Yeah, we'll have to listen to that real quick. Well, we'll have to listen to it at the end, or I might, if I don't have time today, we'll do it tomorrow. I need to listen to it and look into it and maybe have some answers. I apologize about that. I was just trying to get something out for you guys, and I had those, so I kind of skipped through them real quick and tried to listen quickly and briefly for redactions. Yeah, we need to go through that if she's talking about that. But I need to look more into my files and see what I can find about that. And thank you for letting me know, Kim. We might have time to do it today. I can't imagine what the parents go through when they get a call like this or when law enforcement has found some children in a sting operation and the pain when their child is not found in the groups. I know. Getting your hopes up every single time. It's just like they described it as like a roller coaster ride. It was right at the beginning after the cop goes in the house. She's explaining the lines. But the one that I put out yesterday, they're talking about the dad. See, she gets arrested for the SA of her toddler, and then he's told to take the toddler to the doctor. He takes the toddler to the doctor, and then they come back from the doctor, and the CPS comes to remove the children from the house. So I think it's the CPS worker and the dad talking in that one. Because that's when they removed the kids, and I debated on whether to even put that out, but I felt it was important to highlight when CPS does a good job, and I had it anyway. Yeah, we'll definitely, that'll have to be tomorrow. I thought you were talking about her body cam where she's arrested at like some kind of daycare. That'll definitely have to be tomorrow because that's the long video. I'll listen to it with my headphones on and see what I can figure out for you. Okay, so let's talk about this other thing that we got. So evidently, it didn't download either. Hold on. Hopefully it downloaded that time. All right, 4820. So I got on YouTube this morning and I saw that there has been some kind of email put out. Okay. So let's talk about that. Did I? Lordy Jesus. Hold on a minute. Oh my God. Let me just do it this way. It's not wanting to work with. Okay, this is going to be from Ziggy on YouTube, but the original email was put out by 6 Up Media, I think. She says, all I have to say is I told you guys, and it says Hawkins County, November 13th to me. Below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective Pruitt, and the sheriff asked me to follow up with you concerning Fred Hill. Mr. Hill has been investigated extensively, and with the timeline that has been pieced together of his activities during the time period in question, he has been ruled out as a person of interest. This includes any videos and or recordings that he makes or has made. We greatly appreciate your interest in the case and the time that you are investing in it, but Fred Hill isn't who or where you should devote your time to. Thank you, Detective Pruitt. Now, this is put out. It wasn't sent to me, and I have not called the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office to confirm if it's real or not. So at this point, I don't know if it's real or not. Okay. Now let's talk about where I was at, and they talked about it. Yeah, Kim, I'm gonna look into that for you, and I'll tell you what I hear. I'll post it, or I'll come back tomorrow and let you know what I hear. So I was at Stinson Has Soup. I'm not subscribed. I'm going to share her link. And I also want to share Six Up Media with you guys because she's going to go over Six Up Media's original post, and Six Up Media has done extensive work on the case, specifically Ziggy and Fred. So I definitely want you guys to go check out Six Up Media. Okay, so I'm going to drop the link to Six Up Media first. There's Six Up Media's. Brooks called the TBI and Sheriff's Department and they said it was a fake. Okay, so that's what I've been hearing, but I haven't verified that myself. See, if that's the case, why can't they do the same for the Proudfoots and Seth? Great point. Probably because it might not be true. Now, I was over here at Stinson Has the Soup, and I'm going to drop her link. I'll tell you, as you know, as you can see over here on my timeline, right? Even right here, nonsense. I do watch streams in the drama community. However, I watch all streams. I watch streams. If I hear something, I'm going to watch a stream to see what that person's saying, where I might have been to begin with. And then I'm going to go and look and see what the other person is saying. Because like I was telling my children this morning, with everything that happens in the world, there's always three sides. There's going to be my side, his side, and then way over there in the corner, far a mile and a half down the road, that's where the truth is going to be at. Okay. So when I watch streams, I'll hear something and I don't say, "Oh my God, I know that's 100% the truth. I can believe this person 100% willing to lay down in front of a vehicle while they run me over for this person." No, I'm going to look at what the opposite side is saying. I'm going to look at it from all different directions, because despite people stating that they are looking at everything from all directions, I really do try to look at things from all directions. I don't know if it's because I'm a Libra, but I'm always trying to figure out the whole story, right? So sometimes I watch Stinson Has the Soup. I tend not to comment in there. Sometimes I watch Chasing. I don't comment in there. Sometimes I watch Jones and I don't comment in there. Sometimes I watch Queen Bee. I don't comment in there. I watch Nonsense. I've commented there. Truth. I've commented there. Sometimes I even watch Allegedly with Brittany J. Usually just trying to do background research because I don't particularly care for her. Regardless, the point remains. I try to get information from all sides. I was watching Stinson Has a Soup. She was talking about it because I think she was the only one talking about it this morning. And so I'm going to go over her live because, as I said, I went to go get a trailer and I was taking my kids to a sleepover, and I've not had time to go myself and get everything that she covered and get the timestamps for myself. So we're going to go over her stream. Hopefully she won't mind. I have dropped the links and it is in the description box as well. I mean, I agreed with her on most things. I thought I could smell that email states away, but for Fred, but FR, what's concerning of that, the way his wife keeps repeating, but he's a good man. Did he have an accident and panic? Well, the other part of that is with Ziggy, because she has put herself in the middle of the situation and she is so close. That's her fucking husband. She could be too blind to see the reality. You can't make a judgment looking at all facts from the outside when you have put yourself directly smack dab in the middle of the case. In my opinion, she was yelling. Yeah, she was. I found funny channels reacting to on Hidden True Crime. Yeah, Turtle Boy was reacting, and I like Turtle Boy. I don't know. Heather Ann, good to see you. Queen Bee scares me, so I would never comment in her lives. I don't comment, but I watch. I watch sometimes, not all of them. Queen Bee is live like 24/7, so I'll catch things here and there. But usually in the drama community, I know what's going on. And I've looked at the whole situation from all sides. All right. I'm an overly over everything Libra too. Yeah, it's bad. My husband says I'm negative. I'm a Debbie Downer because if we go to do anything, I'm like, okay, so hopefully it works out for the best and all of this, and this happens. But what if this, and this happen and everything gets fucked up? And it's so bad that he's like, well, if we looked at everything and we're so worried about everything that was going to happen, we'd never do anything. I would have never started this YouTube channel had he not been like, you need to just do it. Just do it. It doesn't matter if anything bad happens. It's going to be okay. it's over. It's just overly. All right. So let's watch Stinson Has the Soup. I will drop her link again. This is her live from this morning, and she is also in the description box below.
Good morning. Yes, 6 Up lit it up last night, y'all, with Karen. She sure did. Now, I've been listening to it most of the morning.
Yeah.
And then
I'm going to put it on 1.25. I try not to cover the drama, but right now, trying to understand about what's going on with Fred and Ziggy, it's got me kind of into the drama, but we're not going to be staying here long. I need to look into Andy. Everybody keeps talking about Andy and Sue, so I got to find more information on them as well.
And I went over, and if you're not subscribed to 6 Up, the link is at the top. Good morning, Georgetta. Good morning, Popcorns, White Lotus. Good morning. Good to see you. I haven't seen you around in a while. I was wondering about you, making sure you're okay. Please go sub up to 6 Up and go watch her recent live. It's very informative, even though Ziggy would love for y'all to believe. You know,
I want to pause and say, please do go subscribe to 6 Up Media. She gave me permission to use her live, but it's a 4-hour live and I didn't have time to go through it. So I did just drop her link as well. Please go give her a like and subscribe. She's got a lot of information on Ziggy as well.
Something I'll never understand when it comes to Ziggy. Well, there's a lot of things. Let me hold that for a minute. Is 6 Up didn't have to come out here or Karen and clear Fred's name. They come out, they clear his name. I mean, and Ziggy is still like, my stalker, 666. Just, God, lady, I don't know how anybody takes her for real, has any type of credible, reliable source, her and Fred. Good morning, Lindsay Rose, Val and me, Carrie, Anonymous, Gemini Slacker. Good morning. Ziggy is a conundrum. I don't want to figure that nut out. But her and Fred have been out here for years with stories up on stories, more stories and more stories, twisting the stories of missing Summer Wells. Fred don't know shit. She was, not today.
I don't know what Fred knows. I'm thinking if Fred was involved, he would have been arrested by now, but I question it because, I mean, I'm going to have to refer to the Michael Monkey Vaughn case for years to come. I think Fred might know about the drug use activities in the area because I do believe that at one point he might have been selling meth. But even at that, I mean, everybody changes. If he's on probation and seeing his probation officer daily, more than likely he's getting drug tested. So I would think he's not on the meth anymore. However, I don't think that Ziggy or Fred should be talking about the case because they are too close to the case. Like, you can't be that close to the case and give us any information that we are desperately seeking 4.5 years down the road. In the beginning of the case, yeah, you can say, oh yeah, I know these people. This is how they are. I live beside them. This is what I know about them. But after that, what information can you add on the case unless you are involved? Ziggy can't make any decisions on whether Fred is involved or not, or if he's a good person, or if he had anything to do with it, because she wasn't there at the time. And now she's put herself into the into Fred Hill part of the investigation to the extent of you can't see the forest for the trees because you're in a relationship with this man. So you wouldn't know if he did anything or not anyway, because you're too romantically involved.
A full come apart when she should be like, you know what? See, Fred isn't guilty. No, not Ziggy. Ziggy's got to take it and make it like she's being stalked. And not only is 6 Up an enemy, she has made Fred's sister an enemy. And when I was listening to her last night, I swear to y'all, she sounded like nonsense on the web. She had a lisp and everything. I was like, what?
Okay. I don't like that part. I'm very fond of nonsense on the web. I think she's a great person. So like I said, I listen to everything from all perspectives, but when it comes to shit like that, I just ignore it. I do not comment in this chat. I think I might have once or twice, but it's not something I do. I like nonsense, so I'm gonna put that out here right now because I don't like it when people talk about her personally. I really do like nonsense a lot. So I just wanted to say that.
Am I being punked? Hey, Lindsay, how's the baby doing? Perfectly. Good morning. I am so far. I hope you are too. Did YouTube change your all's handles again? Why does YouTube keep doing that? Because it's perfectly imperfect, ain't it? But now it's got another. Good grief. Good morning, Jennifer Gavel Geek. So good to see you this morning. Did you happen to catch 6 Ups Live? I'm sure you did. I'm only going to play a small part. The only part I'm going to play is where she reads the email from Detective Pruitt. That's the only part I want to play because I want you all to go watch the whole stream because it's very informative. Let me just pull this up. So her and Karen, which is Fred's sister, also she did a fundraiser last night for St. Jude's, which I really like that she did that. What a good place to give back to. Good morning, Breeze.
If we go over here to 6 Up Media, as I stated before, she gave me permission to use her live from last night, and I was very appreciative for that. But do you see? And she's got one scheduled for tonight. I'll go ahead and share that link with y'all. I'll probably try to be there unless Hio is live. But the stream she did last night that has the alleged email in it right here is a fundraiser. You see in green right here, fundraiser, which I find very respectable because she knew that that would probably get a lot of views. So she made it a fundraiser for St. Jude's, and I had clicked on it to try to see if I could get some stuff together, but there's just too much in it. And it told me on my phone, I don't see it here, but like out of $200 that she had, oh, right here, $356 raised out of $200. So I thought that was really, really awesome. Definitely go check her out. She seems like one of the good ones.
The baby feels better. I feel okay. Oh yeah, that hit the whole house. Yeah, I remember
I think they do.
That now. Hold on.
But since the email is being touted as it's not real, I don't think 6 Up Media would have put out something knowing that it wasn't real. So I want to know where she got the email. Somebody sent it to her, and I'm wondering if Ziggy might have done it, because if we're going to go back to what had been stated before, and they said people, I think Benny Hill and Ernie Shell or whoever was saying that they thought that maybe Ziggy called in these tips to get eyes back on her channel, basically for to get people talking about her and Fred again and all of that. So I'm wondering if Ziggy put that out basically for the same reason, to get eyes back on her and Fred again and to talk about them, and to come out here and say, see, I told you that we didn't do it. I told you we had nothing to do with it, just like she has when we just looked at her page. See, I told y'all is what she put. It's weird to me that we got this email right after she stated she had called in a tip. Okay. And now we're finding out this might not be real. I'm wondering if it somehow came from Ziggy or if it somehow came from Fred. Maybe Fred gave it to his sister and then his sister gave it to 6 Up Media. So 6 Up Media is trusting the person. I don't know exactly how it happened, and I'm sure we'll find out later since people are saying that it's fake. It's weird to me that law enforcement would say somebody's cleared when the case isn't over yet. That doesn't make much sense either, because just like in Sebastian Rogers' case, they won't clear anybody. Usually they don't until the case is over with, because they don't know who's involved. If you knew for a fact that, he wasn't involved, then we might be able to solve the case. You usually don't do that. So I find it all very weird. I'd love to know where it originated from, and I'm wondering if Ziggy and Fred are behind it pulling the strings. Eric Jasper said, oh man, if that email is fake, they're impersonating law enforcement, and that is a criminal charge, Eric.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Exactly. But yeah, 6 Up, in my opinion, wouldn't do that unless she thought it was legit. I'm with you right there too. I don't think for a second 6 Up Media would put out an email unless she really felt with every fiber of her being that it was legit. Addie said, Ernie and Benny Keys both said on Dolly's broadcast that they have to meet with TBI and FBI down in Texas for Benny today. Really? That's interesting. See, Horse, you are in the vertical lab. If you want to be in the lab where everybody's chatting at, if you go to my page and click on the one that doesn't have a phone icon beside it, you'll be with everybody else, but you're fine to stay here. Seahorse said, patiently waiting Ziggy's defense behind it. I'm wondering if she's behind it. If they're thinking Ziggy is behind it, it was part of the tip. That's what I'm thinking, Addie B. It's weird to me that she called in them tips and now all of a sudden here's this email. If it was real and I was Fred, I would be posting that every doggone where. Yep. Now, I will tell you, Stinson Has a Soup feels like it's real. Keep in mind, this was done this morning before people started telling me and people started thinking that it was fake because Six Up Media put it out. And so it's just like me with SF Investigates. That's a trusted source. And I don't think for a second Six Up Media would have put out something knowing it was false. I just don't, and neither does Stinson. Now the legitimacy is being questioned, but at the time when this live was done, it wasn't.
All right. If it works, fear not, YouTube will mess it up. So true. I wish they would just leave your all's names alone. It was like they did that a month or so ago where they changed the handles and now, or they went back to the way it was.
What do you mean phone with Benny? Get on the phone.
We're going to play this part. This is from Detective Pruitt, Hawkins County. You can see. Let's just let Six Up take this part away.
That can go live and just review content and act like I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to read you this email. And I want to reiterate to everybody, including you, Ziggy and Fred.
So if you're talking about the profile picture on screen, that profile picture is from Stinson Has a Soup. I like that one too. Also, last night Ziggy was blasted on Dolly, and so Dolly invited her and Fred on tonight at 10:30 Eastern. That's interesting. Benny wanted to speak with Fred, and Ziggy would not let him go to the phone. Oh, of course not, because Fred is her fucking dog and pony show, horse and pony show, however you want to say it. That's her circus act. Can't be nobody else's, in my opinion.
That this was very calculated. The fact that Detective Pruitt emailed this to Karen while he was searching for this baby. Listen, everybody, turn your volume levels way the fuck up.
Me too, Lindsay.
Below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I do want to say that she did send him an email prior to this with a link and a timestamp concerning Cotton Simpson. Okay, let me go on. You sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective.
Let me say this before she.
Who is she saying sent the email? Because it says below is the email. Below is the email you sent and she sent. So who is she? Is that going to be Fred Hill's sister?
Alone. It was like they did that a month or so ago where they changed the handles and now, or they went back to the way it was and now it looks like they're messing with it again. So we're going to play this part. This is from Detective Pruitt, Hawkins County. You can see. Let's just let Six Up take this part away.
That can go live and just review content and act like I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to read you this email. And I want to reiterate to everybody, including you, Ziggy and Fred, that this was very calculated. The fact that Detective Pruitt emailed this to Karen while he was searching for this baby.
Okay, emailed it to Karen. I agree. And this is about the 1 hour mark. I can pull it up. Let's jump over here for just a minute. This is Six Up Media. We're going to jump over here just right before she pulls the email up. Let's see what she's saying.
And we said, here's the truth. This is the truth, you guys. Okay? This is the truth.
When you asked me if I wanted to go live with you, you remember what I told you? I told you it would be very hard to sit on a live and review the same stuff that gets gone over every time and pointing out the same bull crap and know the truth behind all of it. It would be very hard for me to just sit there and
there ain't no way. There ain't no.
So somebody named Ellie is on panel with her, but she said the name Karen referencing the email. Bless Mama, you are in the vertical lab. If you want to be with everybody else, you can come over to my page and click on the one without a phone icon beside it and you'll be with everybody else, just so you know, but you're free to stay there. So Blessed Mama said Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies called this morning and that email is fake. So that's what we're trying to figure out, because I don't think Six Up Media would put out an email that is verified to be fake. So we're trying to figure out if it is fake, or, if it's been verified that it was fake, where did it come from?
No way, I couldn't do it. I want to be able to be that person, guys, that can go live and just review content and act like I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to read you this email. And I want to reiterate to everybody, including you, Ziggy and Fred, that this was very calculated. The fact that Detective Pruitt emailed this to Karen while he was searching for this baby. Listen, everybody, turn your volume levels way the fuck up. Below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I do want to say that she did send him an email prior to this with a link and a timestamp.
Okay, so who is Karen? And it does say Hawkins County, November 13th, which would be the day of the raid. Again, it reads, below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective Pruitt, and the sheriff asked me to follow up with you concerning Fred Hill. Mr. Hill has been investigated extensively, and with the timeline that has been pieced together of his activities during the time period in question, he has been ruled out as a person of interest. This includes any videos and or recordings that he makes or has made. We greatly appreciate your interest in the case and the time that you are investing into it, but Fred Hill isn't who or where you should devote your time to. The email itself, to be honest with you, it doesn't even sound right, because I don't know. First of all, this includes any videos and or recording that he makes or has made. So you're including videos that he makes in the future as a detective. And you don't know that what if he came on YouTube and put out a video showing exactly where her body was? Like that part, I don't see a detective saying something like that. And then the way this last sentence is worded, we greatly appreciate your interest in this case and the time you are investing into it, but Fred Hill isn't who or where you should devote your time to. Right there. Who or where you should devote your time to. That doesn't sound like something a detective would say either. So I would be questioning those two sentences in this email. If it's fake, again, I don't think for one hot minute, Six Up Media thought it was fake and put all this out to get clicks and views. I just don't. I want to know where it originated from. And she's saying somebody named Karen. It's like I just stated, it's odd to me that Ziggy put in these tips and now all of a sudden, bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam, here's this email. I feel like Ziggy's behind it. Pruitt hung up on Ziggy. This is bullshit, said Jean. You are in the vertical live. If you want to be with everybody else, if you go to my page and click on the one that doesn't have a phone icon beside it, you can be with everybody else. I just want you to know that. Thank you for being here. And you're absolutely right. I have heard that they've hung up on Ziggy several times. Okay, but if that's the case and it didn't, like, who is Karen? Because she said Karen. I'm trying to understand this case. I don't know all the players. Who is Karen? Because they didn't necessarily say the email came from Ziggy. Nothing says I'm guilty more than making fake documents saying you're not. Amen. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, that bit at the end, it don't make sense. People are digging way too far into the email when it's completely fake. Plus, the day the email was supposedly wrote was the day they started searching for his property or his family's. You're absolutely right. Lips said, Ernie Shell is working with TBI or Hawkins. Either Lisa K has something, say, made a call. It's pretty good. So who should they devote time to? Great question. Listen to Ziggy and Fred's first meeting. It tells all. Fred was going in and out at the exact time Summer went missing. Yeah, the fucking bones in the yard when she first gets there. Okay, Addie B, I'll try to Karen is Fred's sister. Okay. So if she got it from Karen, I'm thinking that maybe Fred sent it to Karen stating that it was legit, and that would be how it came from Ziggy. Ernie called this morning also, and that's on Crime Lines and Lies morning also. Okay. 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 It's not working. Ernie is not working with them. Okay, if y'all don't mind, please twinkle twinkle over to the thumbs up.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Okay, again, I don't think Six Up Media put that out with that knowledge, but I will try to go to Crowd Lines and Lies and see if we could pull up the phone call. I'll have to briefly search for a timestamp. So I'm going to play this for a second.
Concerning Cotton Simpson, okay? Let me go on. You sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective Pruitt, and the sheriff asked me to follow up concerning Fred Hill. Mr. Hill has been investigated extensively, and with a timeline that has been pieced together of his activities during the time period in question, he has been ruled out as a person of interest. This includes any videos and or recordings that he makes or has made. We greatly appreciate your interest in this case and the time that you're investing in it, but Fred Hill isn't who or where you should devote your time to. Thank you.
Okay. Addie V, thank you so much for gifting 5 speculation station memberships. To answer your question, everybody that I've kind of fallen into their live streams about this case while I'm trying to figure out who all the hell these people are too, I will make a post after the live for you and I will list them. I will link their channels so that you can go check them out. And thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Because I'm doing the vertical live, I'm not going to be able to see who they went to, but if you guys were gifted a membership from Addie V and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Addie V thank you. And I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Addie V, for your kindness and support. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think Fred's family is number 1 suspect too. Texas girl said thank you. Karen said welcome new friends, good to see you. Detectives rather give no information than give misleading information. I don't see TBI saying any of this because they still don't know the answers. Exactly, Kelly. Exactly. Fred has already shot multiple people throughout the years. He shot a guy in the neck. Has that been confirmed? I know he's suspected in Cotton's death, but I don't know, like, he's actually shot people? Yeah, absolutely, Addie B.
Detective Pruitt. Fred Jr. Hill, you are cleared. Now shut the fuck up.
Well,
I
yes,
mean it,
ma'am.
Ziggy. You motherfuckers better not come on here and ever again say her fucking name, Ziggy. Don't you ever fucking do it again. He never fucking worked with law enforcement. He never was he was a suspect. He was investigated extensively. And they pieced the timeline together and he didn't do it. You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to go back over to Stinson because I wanted to see what she was saying. Please keep in mind that she, at that point, thought this was legit. I'm also going to look for the short saying that it's not legit. Both of these people at the time of these lives thought that this was a legit email through no fault of their own.
Listen, everybody, turn your volume levels way the fuck up.
Let me try to get
Below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I do want to say that she did send him an email prior to this with a link and a timestamp concerning Cotton Simpson. Okay, let me go on. You sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective.
Let me say this before she reads it. 6 Up could have kept this to herself. She really could have. I mean, she could have let people keep running with the idea and thought that Fred. Good morning, sweet sativa. Are you, Gavel? Me too. But she could have let everybody just keep running with, you know, is Fred guilty? Did he do something? Is he a suspect in this case? She could have let people just run with that still. That ain't 6 Up, though.
To Pruitt, and the sheriff asked me to follow up concerning Fred Hill. Mr. Hill has been investigated extensively, and with a timeline that has been pieced together of his activities during the time period in question, he has been ruled out as a person of interest.
Sweetheart.
This
Fred Hill has been ruled out as a person of interest. Baby, hold on now. Yes, she is upset. We'll get into that. She's upset. 6 Up puts out this email. They don't want nothing more. from YouTube. Let me tell you something.
Oh, hold on.
TBI, Hawkins County, they don't want nothing from YouTube. If it comes from YouTube, they're going to throw it in the trash.
There we go.
If it's got anything to do with Andy, they don't want to hear it. If it's got anything to do, especially to do with Fred, they are so sick of Fred. Fred said, and his wife. They do.
Okay, so this one that you guys just told me about is going to be from Crime Lines and Lies, and this is where she allegedly called in to check on the email. I have to say allegedly and everything, because if I'm not there and I don't make the phone call myself, I have to go on the word of somebody else, right? So unless I call myself, I'm going to say allegedly. So this is allegedly the call to Hawkins regarding the email. Let's see what is said.
Hang up and dial 911. For Central Dispatch, call 423-272-7121. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it now. For administration, press 1. For the jail, press 2. For visitation or commissary, press 3.
Okay, let me say that I've called a jailhouse many a damn times, and it sounds very legit to me. That sounds like what happens when you call the jail or sheriff's office or whatever. It definitely sounds very legit.
I'm sorry. That number is not valid. Thank you for calling. Sheriff's Office.
Hi, my name is Brooks. Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
Hi.
My friend Ange is on the phone. She's from East Tennessee. It's about the Summer Wells case. I'm sure you knew that's what it's about. There's an email floating around saying that Fred Hill is no longer a suspect, and they're saying that this is from Detective Pruitt. Can that be authenticated? Because the TBI says they know nothing about him not being a suspect.
I have not heard anything to that effect. I think that's a fake news.
Okay.
You think it's a fake email?
Yes.
Yeah, she's well, you know who it is? It's that woman that's kind of cuckoo that married Fred Hill.
Unless it comes from the TBI or the sheriff's office, it has no validity.
Well, she's got an email that she's saying from Detective Pruitt to her, and she's stating those facts, but she's not showing, the from and to.
It is fake news.
Okay, thank you so much for your help.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good day.
Okay, now I think that that's a legit call. However, the lady seems not to know much, and it's saying that she more than likely it's fake news unless it came from, that's not what I want, unless it came from the sheriff's office. So I would say normally that I'm still on the fence about it, because the woman hasn't seen the specific email that they were talking about. However, with these last two sentences that I just talked to you about, stating this includes any videos and or recordings that he makes or has made, that's a red flag for me, because they're not going to say that he's not going to be a suspect. Even if he makes a video in the future, it's not going to matter, because if he made a video showing exactly where Summer Wells' body was, then he's absolutely a suspect. So they're not going to come out and say that and risk lawsuits and all kinds of shit. And the second part of this, we greatly appreciate your interest in the case and the time that you are investing in it, but Fred Hill isn't who or where you should devote your time to. That is also not something that they would say. So taking those two sentences and the fact that I really don't see a detective or sheriff or anybody that's law enforcement saying those two things, and the call together with the woman saying, even though she hasn't seen the email, it's more than likely fake news, I think it is definitely a fake. Because I need those two things together, because with them making the phone call, I would still be on the fence with the lady not having seen the email and her not verifying, okay, that definitely did not come from law enforcement now that I've seen it and looked at it. But again, with the two together, I would believe that it's fake. Rhonda said, we all know Ziggy wrote that. I'm questioning that. But again, please keep in mind, and we're going to continue to go over these lives. At the time this was made, both of these people thought it was legit, And I have wrote down at the bottom, this email is allegedly fake. Hey, Betsy Sue. So we're going to continue to listen to it, but keep in mind the email is more than likely fake. I think it is. With these two pieces of information together, the call and the way the email is worded.
Do not want to hear it. Leave them alone.
This includes any videos and or recordings that he
she made
makes or
CPS
has made.
papers?
We greatly appreciate your interest in this case and the time that you're investing in it. But Fred Hill isn't who or where you should
Yep.
devote your time to.
Now, keep in mind, she just made 2 new tips, allegedly one Friday night and one Saturday. So I'm going to have to lean with Benny Keys on this. And Ernie Shell, is she doing this just to get people talking about her and make herself relevant again? That's fucking sick if you are, because we're talking about a missing child. Just like filing court papers on the back of another missing child, all of it is sick, and the child is lost. But if she's going to fake CPS papers, I don't put it past her.
Thank you, Detective Pruitt. Fred Jr. Hill, you are cleared. Now shut the fuck up.
People say that. I need more
Well, look at here.
information.
Ziggy takes this as a threat. There's something seriously.
Not more information. I don't know much about Ernie Shell, so I need the receipts of where we can show that he's lying. I also need to know where I can find information on Andy and Jeannie, Billie Jean, Bobby Sue, some name. I've got to find information on them too, because I don't know the backstory like you do. Ernie keeps claiming to be law enforcement, saying he works with law enforcement, and it's been proven each time to be a lie. Okay. Thank you, Lips, for that. When I lived in Morristown, I had a cop tell me in front of a CPS worker to beat my child with a sack of oranges. Oh, wow. That's insane.
What's wrong with her?
I mean it, Ziggy. You motherfuckers better not come on here and ever again say her fucking name, Ziggy.
That's it.
Don't you ever fucking do it again. He never fucking worked with law enforcement. He was a suspect. He was investigated extensively.
Did y'all hear that? He never worked with law enforcement, which he would like for everybody to believe.
And they pieced the timeline together, and he didn't do it. You're welcome. Congratulations,
Or he
Fred.
did a sock. That's insane.
Karen, the floor is yours.
Now, I will tell you that I was watching the live where he had that picture. We covered the one where Ziggy went up and he had the picture of the dog. And then I went in there to his live. I actually tried to go on panel, but I went up and I could not hear him. It said you're in the show and I couldn't hear him. So I backed out and then I tried to ask my question in chat. My question was, can you tell me where I can find information on Andy and Jody Sue? Which wasn't real relevant. I mean, I didn't feel like it was important. I didn't feel like going up and taking over the show just to ask questions that everybody in chat would think is stupid because they already know the history. I'm the one that doesn't. And he pulled that picture of that dog up and said that it was a fake because Fred sent him that picture of the dog and said that's the only dog that alerted on the property. And that dog is out of Arkansas and specifically trained to search for drugs. And he said he put it up basically to see if anybody was going to find out that it was a fake. I don't like that shit. I don't like that. I don't like when people present information and put up fake shit just to see if somebody's going to figure it out and call it out, because I don't know that you didn't put it up and tout it as real and you just found out it was a fake. And so instead of admitting that you were wrong, you're going to say, oh, I wanted to see if y'all would find out. I don't think we should be presenting anything that's fake unless we're letting people know that it could allegedly be fake.
We're going to hear this one part of what Karen says, and then we'll move on.
You know,
really,
this is kind of
I would take that as all of the above, Black Belt. I would tell everybody that I would take that as all of the above. If the lead detective of both cases is saying we don't want any past or future videos from this dude, he ain't interested.
That means, Ziggy, stop bothering them. Stop emailing Detective Pruitt, and please stop calling Detective Pruitt. You and Fred and your all's wild tales that you spin every other night on your channel, they don't want anything from you two weirdos.
being bogged down. Leave that baby alone. You didn't know her. You don't know anything about her. Shut the fuck up. Enough's enough.
And all the emails that they received.
Yeah.
All the phones.
She's going to go and see if this email, I'm going to tell y'all, this is how nutty she is. You would think she would be like, well, damn. Thank you, 6up. Thanks for putting out the truth. My husband is not a suspect in this case. Not Ziggy. No, no, no. Ziggy wants to make sure that this email is legit. So you know what she's going to do? She's going to email the sheriff to see if it's forged.
Now, again, people are saying that it's fake, but I agree. Like, why? I mean, you wanna get on here and cry to the extent that you're showing your whole entire ass on somebody's panel about how Fred didn't have shit to do with anything, and then you're provided alleged proof that he didn't. Like, why wouldn't you just quietly go say thank you for putting that out? Like, and then back into the oblivion and just, leave that alone. Talk about other cases or something. Why would you say, you know, that I'm not going to listen to it? Maybe I would verify it too. I mean, if I'm being honest, but I wouldn't say that it's not real out the gate, It's very disheartening. There's a child that's missing and people know but won't say anything. A lot of people know, I think, and it surprised me to know that in Michael Joseph Vaughn or Michael Bucky Vaughn's case, there's allegedly 4 people that knew and none of them said anything. A secret's a secret till you tell somebody, right? If Ziggy is behind this email, she deserves jail. I know. Yep. She absolutely does. And if she's doing it, then she's doing it to get eyes back on her channel, which is not, it is disgusting.
Lens, she waited for this her whole life. She's beyond elated. However, she believes this emboldens them to keep going. God almighty.
No, please
and
do.
helping because he's Mr. Honesty. Yeah, he's never lied to her in the whole time they've been married. Fred's never lied. That's what she would.
I don't believe that at all. Lippy, please do list channels. I don't mind if you list channels here because I would rather you tell me what channels. And Addie V wants to know as well, and I'll write them down. I appreciate you. Snarky Pants, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the super sticker. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I can't see it right now because I got both lives up, so I'm not able to access it, but thank you. Thank you so much for the support. That was so sweet of you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Basil says thank you too. I'm going to buy him some crackers. Thank you so much for that. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that, Snarky. Addie, I too involved myself in the earlier days. When Ben and Keys showed up to Ben Hill, he made Candace stop talking to me. What the hell? That's not acceptable.
Like y'all to believe.
Calls that they received, all the whatever anybody is sending, TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
Now, if you don't know, Ellie, also Karen, this is Fred's sister.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see that.
She's a damn good woman.
Lips.
But that's who's up there with 6up, Fred's sister. She too would like for Ziggy and Fred to leave Summer's name out of their mouth and quit interfering with this case.
Based on anything they got off of that YouTube channel needs to stop. Because it came out of Ronnie Lawson's mouth himself. The biggest thing that has harmed the Summer Wells investigation is YouTube. You heard the TBI.
What was that, Gavel? Friggy didn't let it sink in last night, I don't think. Fred was investigated extensively. Not that Fred's helpful info, was investigated extensively. Fred was investigated extensively. Listen up, Ziggy. It ain't that hard. Keep up. Pay attention.
Say, we are no longer taking anything. You need to defer to Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
So That's interesting, Lippy, because another child was put in danger, and that was Ziggy's daughter when she rolled up to Fred Hill's house, a known meth dealer in the middle of a holler in the middle of Tennessee, and she just rolled up there and they're allegedly talking about animal bones or something like that. And she lets the child sit in a car. Y'all, when I heard that shit, I was like, what the fuck? She's going to Fred Hill's house for the first time to meet him, has no idea who this person is in real life. She's got her minor child with her, and she leaves the minor child in a car in a driveway of a suspect where a child just disappeared into thin air and could have possibly been trafficked. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I'm sorry, but I gotta do it for that shit. No.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
That's what I said. Like, you really just left your child sitting in a vehicle in an area where a child just was disappeared into thin air, evidently? Are you fucking kidding me? For fucking real? To go look at bones? Wow. Okay. Like, how far are you willing to go for your YouTube channel, ma'am? Shelby, good to see you, babe.
They said to weed through the BS.
I believe it.
What BS do you think they were talking about? For Detective Pruitt to send me this email, what bullshit do you think they were talking about and referred to when they said weed through the bullshit? Because it's harming Summer's case.
Harming her case. The more you come out here, that's all I want to play of that, because Six Up needs to get those views. Harming Summer's case. How Ziggy, Fred are in any way helping Summer's case. Law enforcement is handling this. They don't want nothing from you two weirdos. They definitely don't send them any fake tips. Or Fred remembered something different today, or Andy was on the road.
Exactly. CM said, I watched that one yesterday. I felt bad for her daughter asking to not sit in the vehicle, and she made her stay in there. Yeah, shouldn't have took her there. Could you imagine how scared that child was, knowing that her mama is going to meet this man for the first time that she's never met before, and making her sit in a car where a child just disappeared into thin air from? Oh, no. My kids were little when it happened and now are all in their 20s. Okay. I heard she gave up custody of her daughter to marry Fred and have him move in with her allegedly. That's what the rumor on the street is. He has active warrants in Kentucky for running from probation. He's on meth. I guess it says it in his last car accident report. Wow. Don went to Fred's close to immediately after Summer was missing. Another guy said he didn't want to talk about Fred because he said Fred would come after him. Fred is the suspect. I think he is. People have sent CPS to What? Whoa. Who sent CPS to your house? I can't stand that shit. People calling CPS. That does traumatize children for no fucking reason over internet bullshit. Now, if you're on live stream and there's some fucked up shit going on in the background, I get it. But like calling out of just being spiteful, no, that's completely fucked up.
Where's the Andy's Innocent Project? I haven't seen them in a while. The Soup. Did you see Kathy Gordon? Yeah, I did. Thank you, Bruce.
What is a highway run?
Y'all remember Kathy Gordon?
That was the second half.
She
Okay.
was one of Ziggy's,
Just started taking one.
oh God, fearless defenders. Thank you, Bowie girl. Good morning. Hope everyone. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. I appreciate that, hon.
Damn, Kim. I'm sorry.
There's Chasing. Does he Chasing? Yep. Good morning. Kathy Gordon has
I'm definitely
now,
going to look
if you
into
were wondering,
that.
well, I ain't seen her around in a while. She's done. She's over it.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
definitely
usually
gonna
what
check her
happens
channel out.
when you're over at Ziggy's
Thank you
for
for
a
the
while.
information. Hannah, good to see you. I don't know if I said hey to
Things
you.
start to just not make sense, and then eventually you bounce. But then a new crowd comes around listening to all the lies, right? So that's why you always have the revolving door. But Kathy Gordon, she's done. That's her name on YouTube. I'm not doxing her. That's what she actually goes by. Isn't she the same Kathy that Fred
All right, I
and
got
Ziggy
your name
didn't?
written down.
Is this? Help me out. Is that the one that they got married at her house? Kathy means well, and hopefully, it sounds like it from her comment in Benny's or was it Benny's? See Benny or Ern? I think it was Benny's. She's done. Good morning, Captain Audrey. Kathy even paid their minister to get married. Yes, I thought so. That was her. Y'all remember Ziggy would go live when she would come down here? She would go live from Kathy's house. That's the same one. She's out. She's done. She's over it.
What?
But I'm really proud.
A highway run is Ernie allegedly on meth, whacked out of his mind, running down the road asking for people to call the cops as he is live? Are you fucking kidding me? That is insane. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check you out. Addie B said you have a lot of information and to check you out. I'm in and out of chat, but listening while I work. Behave, chat, said Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. Have a good day at work, love. There's a few Kathy. There's the Kathy she's talking about, Fred's Kathy. Then there's Kathy, the friend, Candace's friend that had Summer's jacket from the day she went missing. Damn. Kim said, I don't want to behave.
Proud of except for putting that email out.
Damn,
like she
that's
said, it would
insane.
just be hard to go live knowing the truth and not putting it out to the public. They don't want nothing from Fred. Fred is not a suspect. He's been investigated extensively.
That's good.
Okay.
That they knew it was a false report, Texas gal, and I'm glad that everything was cleared. I'm sorry that that happened to you.
They're not interested. They're not interested in Andy, but you don't see Andy out here inserting himself. I don't even think they're interested in Jody Sue. Jody Sue, you're another one.
Those are the two people I have to look into. But like I said from the beginning, I don't see law enforcement saying somebody is cleared unless the case has been solved.
Good morning, Zero Jules. Kathy said she took Fred to get 2 IDs. Wow, when he was released from jail, and she paid for his documents. They used them out of Kathy. But yet Fred and Ziggy lie and say Fred has no ID. He has an ID. Yes, he does. So, like I said.
Now that goes back to the share Voices Behind the Wall live, where she allegedly said she was going to get Fred to take a lie detector test and then got money for it and then came out and said she wasn't going to. Now that I've been given more information, if I'm understanding correctly, they were supposed to take the lie detector test, and then Fred came out with this, oh, I don't got an ID. So I don't know if it was Cher's fault or if she legitimately was trying to get the lie detector test lined up so that they could take it, and then they came back with, oh, he doesn't have an ID.
You would think Ziggy would be.
She donated that money to Brandy Neal
for that bit of information that Ziggy.
That's good to know. I donated to her meal train too, and I'll drop that link in chat. Brandy Neal is a beautiful soul. That woman, she is the what everybody who is hit with a tragedy like this, that's what they should strive to be. She is, I mean, in my eyes, when I think of Brandy Neal, I see like angels. Like that woman is somebody everybody should strive to be. She is just the example of perfection. And she deserves answers. I have a fondness for Brandy. Fred said he had no ID. Yep. But Cher called TBI and they said Fred only needs to show up to the TBI office for his test. Oh, wow. But he won't. Brandy is a beautiful angel. That woman is perfection.
Being put out. Nope. No, not Ziggy.
I'm going to grab her link for her meal train.
Let me rewind a little bit. Now, I'm going to show y'all. I'm just going to show you the title. This lady. Ha ha ha. Vindication is here. Fred has been ruled out as a person of interest. Now, Fred should know that he's been ruled out as a person of interest. Why did you need vindication from any other YouTuber, right? Exactly. Jody Sue. Yeah, Jody Sue is not a suspect per Detective Pruitt. There you go. Not Jody, not Andy, not Fred. Fred's just some little weirdo that inserted himself in the case.
So if you go over to my post from 7 days ago, there is links. There's where I donated to her meal train. There's Brandy's meal train link. Also, my mod has an organization to help children in her community who won't have Christmas or Thanksgiving without their help. So this is the website that shows a bit about her organization. and you can donate on there. There's a link to PayPal, and then there's an Amazon wish list. So that day I donated to Brandy, and I got some stuff off of her wish list. But that post is on my page from 7 days ago if anybody is interested.
Ziggy thought when she married Fred that somehow they were going to blow up on YouTube. You know, she married a, I'm using air quotes, a suspect in the case. Yeah, 180 in.
That right there. Exactly. She took her YouTube channel to the next level, said, I'll do anything for my damn YouTube channel, to the extent of marrying a suspect in the case of the disappearance of Summer Wells, and allegedly can't even have her child in the house now. Chose this man over her own child. Chose the ability to talk to somebody close to the case, allegedly, over her own child. I think that she went there. I think that she married him, all of the things, just so she could be close to the Summer Wells case. And if you take that and say, okay, if she's going to go to the extent of meeting a suspect in the fucking case and marrying him, possibly not even having custody of her daughter right now because he lives with her, I think she definitely, most fucking certainly, would call in tips to the TBI that are fake and somehow try to get this email or whatever and link it just so people would come and look at her page and she would be relevant again. That's exactly what I think is going on here. Yeah, buying off the wish list is the best thing. Money goes to Brandy or the food goes to Brandy. Yep. My family is high risk well due to all the calls made. Damn. I'm so sorry, Lips. That's horrible.
Here, if you haven't yet, please hit the like. Thank you, Amanda Oliver. Yes, she is, Jesse. Hey, Elle, good morning.
I'm so sorry, Texas.
I forgot what I was saying. But anyway, Ziggy's response to this is your typical Ziggy response, fair use. This is for educational purposes, and I'll only play a few minutes of this.
I should kind of wait till people get in here because I'm not repeating.
So this is Ziggy's live. The meal train brings her food to her house. She had just gotten a liver transplant, so we were doing that. CPS, it was a false report. The school scrutinized our parenting but never found anything. It's still traumatizing to have a school constantly questioning you. They threw a fit when I pulled my kids out to homeschool them. They were assholes. All right. She's going over what Ziggy said.
Eating this stuff, I'm going to go from very, very excited to very pissed off, from very thankful and grateful for my life.
She's going to go from excited to very pissed off. So,
oh my
Ziggy,
God,
you need to get your moods regulated. And then she gives an acceptance speech. I kid you all not.
Oh yeah, you should be proud of yours
and God. And I knew.
Thank all you guys and God. This is a real acceptance speech.
The truth would come to light. I knew it, and it's just the beginning, guys. This is this email.
You hear her up here like she won a damn Oscar. I want to thank everybody who stood behind us while we got to this point. I want to thank God. I want to thank my producer. I want to thank all of the editors for the film. I want to thank Sony who provided the cameras that film. Like this, her whole damn acceptance speech on this email. I think she could be behind who put it out. I do.
It did not come from a very trustworthy source. It was put up on the person that's been stalking me for 4
It's been put up on the persons that's been stalking me. Oh my God. But I wouldn't expect anything less from old Ziggy. 666. She's been stalked. Nobody has been stalking you. Listen to me. Yeah, you idiot. You.
I don't know the backstory, but I highly doubt that 6 Up would be stalking her. Corey Edwards, good to see you. It is.
Are on YouTube. We see you. Nobody's outside of your house. Nobody's following you in that stroller down to the Dollar General. You idiot. God, y'all. Oh my God. My blood pressure.
4.5 years. And when she did it, she made a threat from what I'm hearing. Somebody sent me this. Made a threat that we better basically shut up about the Summer Wells case. Now
that's not a threat. That's just her saying, leave. You better not mention her name again. That was not followed up by a threat. You Karen. You are such a crazy little Karen. Oh my God.
That Fred's been, not been ruled out as a person of interest. because guys, this woman, they've had this email for 10 days. 10
Oh my God.
days.
When you put stuff out on this YouTube and people have a negative reaction to it, they're not stalking you. It's the chance you take by coming on the internet. Some people aren't going to like you and some people are going to say shit. 6 Up got mad at Ziggy because she didn't have a ride to Summer's Day event and Ziggy didn't pick her up. Oh, wow. 6 Up is credible. I believe she is.
November 13th. If this is even a legit email, I mean, I don't know why.
I want y'all to listen to this. Even if this is a legit email, now she starts sounding like nonsense. She even develops a list and starts with conspiracy theories. And she doesn't believe this email is real.
They would want to put out something that looks good on Fred, unless it was. But you guys think of.
I like nonsense, so I don't think that she's. I mean, I don't want to down nonsense. Now, again, at this time, they thought the email was real. Now it's questionable. To be fair, the woman that Crime Lines and Lies called had not laid eyes on the email, but I think it's not real too. But I don't think that 6 Up knew it wasn't real. I think that she trusted her source, and her source might have led her astray. I've been following this for a while and came to the realization that a similar thing that happened to Monkey happened to Summer. It was a neighbor. It's really sad. It is. It is. I didn't listen to a lot of interviews these parents do on Summer's case, mostly news. Don and Candace like to joke, and they were turning people all the wrong directions on purpose. A lot of people think they're responsible. I don't.
What happened today and what's been happening the last few days? You don't think it's suspicious that 666 decides to release this 10
Oh my
days
God.
on this day specifically? Do you think somebody's a little scared? You think some people are scared behind the scene?
Do you think somebody's scared behind the scene?
Do they fuck around and find out?
What happened? Did y'all hear the lisp? Yes, fuzzy butt. Ziggy, about that, the truth will come to light. Friggy just isn't going to like it very much. No, she's not. And all of a sudden, a lisp comes about. And conspiracy theories. I'm like, I am being punked right now. This cannot be real. Oh, but it is. Go ahead.
So they've been sending emails after email after email to Lawson. What happened? I mean, as much as she stalks me, she should have known and heard that when Fred was arrested and took his money, or when he went in jail in June of 2023, him and Lawson took a freaking photo op together.
What is she talking about? Okay, Chasing Gavel, y'all are in here. What's she talking about? Fred and Lawson took a photo op. What does that got to do with anything? That's just another personality, ain't it, Jesse? But she develops a lisp.
I don't know where this lisp magically came from. Jeed said, I think Dot and Candace grieved openly. Imagine your baby is missing. Your mind would go wild with possibilities, and it would. And I think that that's more along the lines of what happened. They grieved openly. They talked with people who they felt like were trying to help the case about all the possibilities. I mean, and again, as somebody who researches true crime, if somebody I know or if my child went missing, my mind's automatically going to go to trafficking. And I'm probably going to do like Malaya Brooks Murray did and say, y'all need to lock down every way out of this county, of this state. It needs to happen right motherfucking now because somebody has them in a vehicle. Like all the possibilities, you're not going to know. That's the whole thing. And it's going to drive you crazy until you know. And my heart goes out to these families. Can I just say though, we've got this lead in the Summer Wells case. We've got arrest made in the Michael Monkey Vaughn case. There was a lead in Sebastian's case. Like, I think law enforcement's doing a damn good job right now. And I've not said that. I've said the TBI is fucked up and I was worried about Sebastian because they had not found Summer Wells yet. I said, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't fucking like it because it seems to me like they should have some answers. And now here we are this month alone. We've gotten leads and arrests in 3 of the main cases that have been missing. I think they're guilty of neglect, and that's all. Just like I think about Daniel Martell and Malaya Brooks Murray with Jack and Lily Sullivan.
And she starts with these conspiracy theories. It's like, what the heck is happening? I don't know what a photo op has to do with anything.
I don't know,
I
Liz.
really don't. I really
Good to see you, love.
And Lawson said,
Lawson
I want to
said-
take a picture with the man that is going to help me solve this case.
Lawson said, and I'm going to do it with the list, that he wants to take a picture with the man that's going to help me solve this case. Let's rewind that. I
helped so
believe
much.
it.
And took his money, or when he went in jail in June of 2023, him and Lawson took a freaking photo op together. And Lawson said, I want to take a picture with the man that is going to help me solve this case. Or that.
Bullshit, Ziggy. No, they didn't. Hey, Deborah. No, they didn't. I do not believe for a second that Ronnie wanted a photo with Fred looking like Tiger King. Y'all saw that haircut. And said, I want a picture with the man that's going to help me solve this case. I can't believe she's talking like this. I feel like I'm being punked.
She's making me laugh right now. He did kind of look like Tiger King, though. I mean,
that never happened. I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
It is crazy. What the hell's going on?
She literally believes everything Fred says. This is the dude that led her to animal bones, people. Didn't call the police when he found some animal bones. No, here comes YouTube Ziggy down the hill in her mom van, her little mom van, with her license plate that says YouTube Ziggy. Let's wait for YouTube Ziggy to pull up on the scene, and I'll take her to this animal carcass and tell her, I found some bones back here, Ziggy. I don't know what they are. Like so much is going through my head. Duke said, did Ziggy say last night they hadn't put a tip in since last year until yesterday and today, which means twice in 2 days? God, I don't know.
And that right there is what's important.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Because after Ziggy put in 2 tips, we magically get this email. Ignorantly neglectful, but didn't hurt Summer. Exactly. That's where I'm at. Not 100% on the level of negligence Daniel and Malaya have, but Wong hearing that car makes those short trips in the early morning hours sure makes one wonder. It does. The RCMP came out and said they have not been able to verify that, but I don't think it's been ruled out. So I don't know. It does make you wonder.
You think so, Jackie? But I think her teeth are real. How did she develop a lisp? Chasing truth. Didn't you figure out the lisp are from audio thing having to do with your buds or mic? I have never heard Chasing having a lisp.
Has helped so much with the case. And he wanted to release it at a later date. I knew nobody would believe me, so we rarely ever mentioned it. But as much as 666 watches me and stalks me,
oh my God,
she should have heard it. So they're sitting there, according to this email, I think the guy sounds annoyed that they keep sending shit to him.
No, Ziggy. They are annoyed with anybody from YouTube, especially from either you or Fred. Y'all remember when she played that recording of her talking to Detective Pruitt and he damn near hangs up in her face? That's what they're sick of.
It states, below is the last email you sent to Sheriff Lawson. I'm Detective Pruitt, and the sheriff asked me to follow up with you concerning Fred Hill. Mr. Hill has been investigated extensively, and with the timeline that has been pieced together of his activities during the time period in question, he has been ruled out as a person of interest.
Now look, she's excited, reading it. Well, she's pretending to be. Yeah, he hung up on her. She's pretending that she's clapping, doing all the weird shit. But then you hear her say, this came from my stalker. She developed a lisp overnight. I can't get over the lisp. I'm sorry, y'all. The hell are you clapping, Ziggy?
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you,
Absolute
Jesus.
proof, guys. I told you. I fucking told
Okay, now she's thanking Jesus. It's absolute proof, guys. I told you. I effing told you. But just a few minutes ago, if y'all remember, she doesn't trust the email. Chasing says, sorry, I was behind the photo.
So, yeah, what is it? He's been cleared or you don't trust the email? Again, I wonder if she is clearing herself through this fake email so that, again, she can get attention. I think she's trying to keep the attention. I just can't look at Dawn the same after hearing that awful phone call. I need to hear that awful phone call. I'll try to remember to hit you up. Oh, yeah, we read that. Okay. Maybe mistaken a lisp for a lime. Just saying. I reserve any speculation on these cases until concrete facts are reported. I agree. I don't think we should speculate unless we're stating openly that it is speculation. And anything that I say that, like, I think Fred did it, I try to always remember to state that as that is my speculation. I think it's okay to speculate because, detectives speculate a theory and then they look into the theory and see if they can get back up, like what evidence they can get to prove the theory, right? I think it's okay as long as you state it as such and we don't run with speculations. I do speculate that Ziggy does need a psych ward.
Was, according to Fred, a good thing. According to Lawson, it was a mugshot. But don't fully quote me here. Sounds like it was probably a mugshot.
Told you.
You told us. Okay.
I told you I wouldn't let you guys down.
Oh my God. I told you I wouldn't let you guys down. What? This email came. Oh my God. Oh, wow. But you don't trust the email, Ziggy. Never mind.
I told you I'm not a fucking liar. I told you Fred's being honest. Are we going to start listening to him now?
No, we're not. Ziggy, you missed the whole point. Yeah, she missed the whole point. Let's break it down for you, Ziggy. Thank you. The email means they're not interested in you or Fred. Oh, my Lord. No, we are not going to believe anything Fred says. Okay? You will, however, I'm sure. But no, that's not what. Oh my God. I know, Gavel.
I would not believe anything Fred or Ziggy said, even if you paid me money.
Geeks. It's like a slow seal clapping. I can't even talk. Good afternoon, Bubblegum. I know. Forget about the missing child. This is all about her and Fred.
Are we going to start taking him a little bit, just a tad bit more seriously, please?
No. No, we will not.
And those people who turned on us in the last few days, you're nowhere back in my life ever fucking again.
Ziggy, the people that turned on you in the last few days, they turned on you. Benny turned on you because you threatened to call his probation officer. You're sick. Y'all already know I am no Benny Keys fan, but if the man is trying to do good and do better and has found sobriety, why would you dare threaten to hurt him in that way? Why would you do that? Because you're venomous. You're vindictive. You're spiteful. You're a dangerous liar. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Lindsay Lee. Right, Coco? No dummy. We're not going to start believing Fred. Suddenly she started talking with a lisp. I thought I was being punked for a minute, but it continues to go on. I don't know, but she does. She thinks because he was a neighbor to the Wells, that everything he says is going to somehow help solve this case.
That is insane to me that she really thinks that and hangs on to his every fucking word and touts him on his YouTube channel as her little circus act.
Last 5 years, anything Fred has said, God dang, has done nothing for the case. He's been investigated. They're done. You understand that, Ziggy? Benny had her made, saw through her and Fred. That's why. Exactly. It has nothing to do with this email. Ziggy, they just happened to see you you threatened to call the man's parole officer. Why your dude, Fred said over there, laying in a bed with a coat and a pair of shoes on, is also on probation or parole, one of the two. You don't.
And y'all, I've been very honest about my past, okay? The only time I laid in bed full attire ready to go is when I was ready to go. When I was waiting for a knock on the door and knew I was about to have to take off running. That shit's weird to me. Even if it was for like a photo op or something, that's fucking weird to me.
Think, girl. So no, this isn't going to make them come running back. Oh, we're so sorry, Ziggy. We thought Fred was guilty. That's not what this is about. You don't listen.
Lord knows she don't listen. Hell,
None
to
of
the
them.
dog.
None of them. I have given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, talked to all these people and told them over and over, guys. Again, guys, I would not stand behind a man and marry a man unless I like and bring him into my home at the time I did in my life. If he, I mean, guys, get real.
Don't tell us to get real when you took your child down there to visit a man, Fred, that you thought at the time could be a suspect in the case. Please don't tell us to get real. If it means he was a suspect, not a trusted source, it means he was a suspect, not a trusted source. I am glad I didn't go to school where she did. What is this popping up on? Might I add, that was the smallest. Yes, I'm telling.
Yeah, and she treats him like he is a trusted source.
Hey, Chocolate. Let's get real, Ziggy. You married Fred for one reason and one reason only. And it's not because you're in love with him. No, absolutely not.
It's for
she
her
thought this
YouTube
was going to
channel.
blow up her YouTube channel with all
Exactly.
the Fred Sids.
I think he must have been a really great guy. I know it sounds crazy to you guys, and it was, but it's because I knew how amazing of a person he was. I knew him better than you guys. There is a lot of people that are behind the scenes trying to change reality. We sent in a tip again yet today that went along with yesterday's tip.
She's sending in tips left and damn right. What the hell is going on here? Like, and then all of a sudden we get dropped this email. I see this video from Benny Keys. We might jump over there real quick and then come right back to this to continue, because she plays some stuff from Benny Keys that might be relevant and important as well. Lord have mercy, where's my pen? Trying to get, there we go, write down my timestamp, 35. Let's see what Benny Keys said.
Here we go. Check it right here, goes.
Calling the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. This is an emergency. Please hang up and dial 911. Central Dispatch, call 423.
I think it's the same call.
Already knew the extension thing.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. You sent me back here to Detective Pruitt, and I think it just went right straight to voicemail. He's probably not in right now. I don't know if he's in or not. I did leave my name and the number for him to give me a call back. I just want to, there's a big internet presence about the Summer Wells case right now, and you probably heard about it, about them clearing Fred Hill. And I'm thinking, it's just a bunch of satire because they didn't show the drop-down menu. Because, when detectives...
I think it's a scam.
You think it's a scam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got a call. Did you not say that email was a scam?
That's Sheriff Pruitt right there.
Okay, thank you.
That's Detective Pruitt. I've worked around with Hawkins County before, and, I'm just trying to cut this off before anything ever happens with it. You know what I'm saying? Before it gets out there. Because right now, guess what? It's a money laundering scam is what it is. Because they're making money off of these poor people. That's what it is. They're making money off this poor missing girl, and that ain't right. I appreciate you all. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your service. There you go. Detective Pruitt was back there in the back.
I heard him loud and clear.
There you go. There you go.
Now,
So-
you need to put that on your channel as a short. And how are they going to deny this?
Now wait a minute. I want to back that up because I need to hear where she asked that man again. I mean, I need verification that that's Detective Pruitt. I backed it up a little bit.
Bunch of satire because they didn't show the drop-down menu. Because with detectives,
I think it's a scam.
you think it's a scam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got a call. Did you not say that email was a scam?
That's Sheriff Pruitt right there.
Okay, thank you.
That's Detective Pruitt.
Okay, she said he said she asked him and that man appeared to say yes, it's a scam. So here's what Benny said on it. I did drop his link for this video. It's just a little 5-minute video. Hey Carrie, good to see you.
So, preliminarily, Fred's sister's email, to the best of my ability, the best of my knowledge, isn't just this publicly accessible email that just anyone can get to troll. doesn't seem as if Fred has been vindicated at all. You know, you've heard me say it before. This stuff is like real estate, right? Location, location, location. It's timing, timing, timing. I don't know what all of this means in, I hate to even say it, but the scheme of things. But it definitely seems as if it's a scheme. Hoo-wee, baby.
I mean, I think it's directly correlated with all of these tips that she's been calling in. I feel like the email could have came from Fred to Fred's sister and therefore was believed. So, Coach Scott's toe, good to see you. So, you know how cops sometimes lie and tell suspects they passed a polygraph and to take some pressure off in hopes they feel comfortable enough to make a mistake. Yeah, and that's very possible. His lie detector test, the document I saw anyway, that was allegedly Fred Hill's lie detector test results said no opinion, which means they won't say whether he passed or failed. They have no opinion, and they could have put that in there to make him to not let him know the results of the test, or because they legitimately couldn't figure out one way or the other. It kind of does, but I feel like it was a scam. But I don't think the people who put it out knew it was a scam when they put it out.
I don't know, but really got to ask yourself who would have the motivation to pull something like this off, right? Now, I think that I raised a very good point on Brooks, Crime, Lies, and Lines, and that's the email that's available to see has no drop down. It just says Hawkins County. And there's a lot of legality that goes in the bottom with, you know, the Hawkins County seal, Detective Pruitt's name.
I'll show you exactly what he's talking about, because I know I've got one from a FOIA request. And he's absolutely right about what he's saying. Hold on. I think I can show y'all the one I showed you the other day because it didn't have my name. Let me see if this one. Yeah. So here's where I'm checking back up on my stuff for Jennifer Soto, right? And it says SAO public records request to me. They say, good afternoon. Do you have an invoice number or case number so I may check on the request you are referring to? And then what he's talking about is right here at the bottom. It says Amanda Babies. Amanda Babies. Babies. Public Records Office of Monique Monique H. Worrell, State Attorney, 9th Judicial Circuit, 415 North Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida. The everything. And it's got the seal, right? So if it was a legitimate email, it should look like that. You should have the seal. You should have all the information of everybody who sent this. Even at the bottom right here, please note, Florida has a very broad public records law. All emails are kept as a public record. Your email communication, including your email address, may be disclosed to the public and media at any time. It's got to have all of this information if it's legit and from law enforcement. And we did not see that on the email. I can pull it back up if we need to take a look at it again. That's what he's talking about.
His office, maybe even his extension in his specific office. Yikes. I don't know.
It appears that way.
I don't know. I certainly hate to think that Ziggy and Fred had anything to do with the email itself, right? I want to believe, oh God, help me believe that Ziggy and Fred are just the victims of.
It is very telling that she's acting so erratic and they're losing their ever-loving minds and trying to put out all this information, calling in other tips. Yeah, she has gone off the rails since this November 13th lead where they checked Fred Hill's uncle's house, Paul Hill. It really is making them look sus as fuck. I'm wondering if that shit happened to get them to see their reaction to it. And allegedly, rumor has it, haven't verified it, but allegedly they found something, and I don't know if it was digital or forensically, but they sent something to the lab. I don't know if it was a digital, which would be like a phone, a USB drive or something like that, or forensic, which would be like clothing, bones, things like that. Fred was a suspect in 2 homicides. That didn't just go away. And yep, you're right. I've heard that too.
A troll. Not that they themselves created this, right? Now, what's interesting about that is, before doing all of what Ziggy has done on her channel last night, which I've not watched, but which I will get ahead of, you would really think Ziggy and Fred would call the police themselves. And I think that that could be one of the determining factors to try to really hunt down and track down where this came from. Before you just listen to an email that came from 6UP's channel, which you hate 6UP, and there's this long-standing feud between the two of you, you would think, you'd say, you know what, I see what's going on. Let me call tonight, leave a message for Detective Pruitt in hopes that he's going to call me in the morning.
Yep.
Let's not just run to the internet with no sleuthing, with no drop down. It just says Hawkins County. They didn't hit the little thing that drops down to give you the.
He's absolutely right, and that's a great point. She hates 6UP Media, calls her 666 and her stalker. So why would she just run with that? But to be fair, she did say that she needed to call and check. The whole "he's a good man" statement she kept repeating the other day makes me think he's about to be caught for something and be labeled a monster, and she's trying to get in front of it. I think that speculation is spot on.
Boom, 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 bam.
I do. And the behavior keeps getting more erratic as the days go on. So it's either to get attention to her YouTube channel or because they're freaking out because something is on that property or in that area. But if she's freaking out to that extent, then that's because Fred has told her something. And that's not good because she could be an accomplice after the fact.
Actual email address. Don't. No, we're going to run with it. Almost like we know, or we want the internet to know, that this is official. It's a fickle business.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the answer right there to who it came from. I don't know. Gotta ask yourself, though.
Exactly.
Remember the absence of evidence, not the evidence of absence. Have a better day than Fred and Ziggy you're going to have.
He said, remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence.
So what would
whatever.
make them say it's about Summer when Karen said she was asking about cotton? Here we go.
Hold on. Oh, she's put it on members only now, so I'm not gonna stream her members only content. Well, hold on. And that's why I think it could have legitimately been an accident and he panicked and she knows all of this. Very well could be. Very well could be. She made this members only, and so I'm not going to play it because that's not how I do things. Let's see if 6UP Media has said anything about it. She's still got this one scheduled for tonight. Open panel. Fred and Ziggy are exposed as liars and cons. Open panel tonight. I'm going to look at her post. 666. I can't believe I actually felt bad for you. Sicko is gross. And they're both 12 hours ago. Let's see what this is.
I just need to, I'm sorry guys, I'm pretty upset right now about the misinformation that's being put out and saying Fred said this, or Fred said this, or Fred is a liar, or Fred has 5 stories, or whatever. If you say these things, back it up with Fred's words. Stop just claiming stuff just flippantly about Fred saying things.
He's a good man.
Put proof behind it. Don't think that you're going to sit there and talk shit about us and then ask us to come up on your panel. Why would we want to come up there after you're sitting there saying like things like Fred has all these different stories? Tell us the different stories and reference it with his own words, please. If you want what's right for Summer Wells, you would do that. You wouldn't just go and say stuff and say Fred said this and Fred said this. He has so many different stories, you know, this or that. You want to sum us up while you're on panel talking crap. For us to straighten shit out, you should have done that beforehand. When you say things, reference, if you are claiming stuff, you can there's you can reference what you're talking about. Just flippantly saying, basically trying to paint Fred a liar because you just don't like Donna or you don't like somebody, that's completely unfair. Because I don't know about you guys, I judge people separately, not based on who. I try not to go by like their associations. I don't know why. Fred, are you listening to me, or what do you need to clear up about that that was being said? Since there was some kind of miscommunication, we're not going to go over there on a panel that was just disrespecting Fred. Want to use him for information? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. So evidently some things she said. Eric said he's a good man, but made horrible choices instead of calling law enforcement. Right. In the pot for soup and I came back. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know that there's much more out about this. Benny Keys is live right now. It says who has the motivation. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to redirect you guys real quick. I'm probably gonna end it here because y'all, I had to take some ibuprofen just a minute ago while I was on live with you. I told y'all I took some ibuprofen, but I'm having lady issues and I'm cramping like horrifically right now. It's I can't even hardly think. So I'm probably going to end it here since Stinson made that live members only. Okay. I'm trying to look at how to redirect on YouTube. Oh, it's saying open files and all kinds of shit. Hold on a minute. I'm going to look in my studio and see if it tells me. I don't know how to do it. Anyway, I hate to end it here, y'all, but I haven't went and got together any more content for us to talk about right now. And this is a developing story. Lips Left was going to ask her if Candace's friend Kathy that had Summer's jacket was with her the night Candace was gagging and digging in the gravel. I don't know. That's interesting. If she emails me, I'll let you know. Let me look her up and I'll give y'all her channel real quick too. I can't find her. I don't know if she is Lippy or if she's somebody else. But I looked her up via her screen name and I'm not seeing anything. And now she's not coming up that way either. Whew, I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead and go visit Benny Keys if you want to. He's live. And check out Lippy. Check out the people we've talked about. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for being here. I'm so sorry I got to go. She made it members only, and y'all, I'm about to die right now. Not really, but you know, I'm about to lay it down because I'm hurting real bad. Excuse me. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. If nobody has told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I will definitely see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much, Kelly. And thank you so much, Snarky Pants. Y'all have a good day. Stay safe out there. Thank you, guys. I'm going to lay it down for a little bit. And remember, speculation is okay as long as you present it as such. Be careful with these people on these YouTube streets because they'll lie straight to your face and not give a damn. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.